Hey, it's the Refined Reseller. Thanks for tuning into my YouTube channel. If we're meeting for the first time, I sell on eBay, and I've been selling on eBay for more than 22 years. When you subscribe to my channel, you'll see things that I have bought at garage and estate sales, and I have resold on eBay. I also give tips, tricks, and advice on how to become a successful eBay seller. Today, I'm going to give you 10 items that you will find at almost every garage sale. And I talk about whether or not you should buy them, if you should buy them under certain conditions, and whether or not you should buy them. So please, if you're like a new eBay seller, you're going to want to watch this because you're always looking for stuff to get started with. And when you go to garage sales, these are the things you need to be on the lookout for. So let's get started. Okay, here is number one, but first, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. The first item is actually two items. They are CDs and DVDs. They're rather similar. I see these at every garage sale, but you have to know how to buy them. In today's world, CDs and DVDs do not have much value. That's because of Pandora, Spotify, Netflix, Hulu, those type of streaming services. So they're almost valueless. At most garage sales, people ask at least $1 for each CD and $1 for each DVD. You cannot afford to spend that kind of money and expect to be profitable. What you have to do is you have to buy the items in bulk. So let's say you go to a garage sale and there are 100 CDs on the table. You look through them and you decide you want to buy them. They're $1 each, so that's $100. Simply go up to the person having the garage sale and say, look, I'd love to take all of these DVDs or CDs off of your hands. And she'll probably say, well, make me an offer. Offer $15. That's right, $15. That's 15 cents a piece. Worst case scenario, do not pay more than 25 cents a piece for any CD or DVD. Because here's what's going to happen. If you buy the whole lot for $15, you have 100. You're going to get them home. There's going to be one DVD that's probably going to sell for $15. Then you'll have 99 left to make a profit on. Believe me, it works all the time. You just have to have the ability, and you have to ask for a lowball price. All they can do is say no, or you can renegotiate from there. So let me show you first some CDs that I sold recently. I bought 300 CDs at a garage sale about 3 months ago. I sold more than 200, and here are some I sold recently. This is a lot of Robert Keane CDs. I have no idea who Robert Keane is, but I put them all together. I put 6 in this lot, and I sold this lot for $35.99. So, if you happen to have some CDs that are from the same artist, you might want to group them together and sell them in a lot like I did right here. Here's another CD. This is The Cult, and it sold for $6.99. And here's one by Jennifer Warnes doing songs of Leonard Cohen. He had that song called Alleluia. I'm sure you're familiar with it. This CD sold for $12.99. I bought a lot of DVDs at a garage sale. There happened to be some very common kids movies. I grouped them together in a lot of 14, and I sold this lot for $15.99. That's more than $1 a piece that I got for each one. I'm okay with that. I also sold this Beverly Hills Cop 1, 2, and 3 DVD, and it sold for $6.99. And I sold this one. This is Concussion. It sold for $4.99. It's a Will Smith movie, and if you notice, this one is still sealed. It's new in the box. Most of the CDs I buy are not new, but if I get some that are sealed, those seem to sell rather quickly. So CDs and DVDs, yes, you can sell them on eBay. They will sell, but you have to know how to buy them correctly at garage sales. So again, never pay more than 25 cents for a CD or a DVD. Next are video games. I don't know a lot about video games. I wish I knew more. I know some that have value, some that are just very common and I will never buy. But I bought about 5 of them the other day. I paid $2 a piece, and here they are. The first one is Mario Brothers Galaxy. I'm familiar with Mario Brothers. I was pretty confident that it would sell. And this is a Wii game. I sold this one for $19.99. I also got Super Mario Galaxy 2, and it sold for $33.99. I also happened to pick up this Mortal Kombat. This is a PS4 game, and it sold for $7.99. Next, record albums. You're going to find records, albums, and 45s, but you've got to know what you're doing. It's all about condition. You've got to check out, the sleeve of the record album. You have to check out the vinyl, make sure it's not all scratched up. And there's a lot of common albums out there that you just don't want to buy. Mostly people try to get $1 for them. Again, I try not to pay more than 25 cents for an album. So keep that in mind. Here are a couple of albums that I bought recently. It's by a band called Gentle Giant. I think they're from the 1970s. The reason I bought these two is because I thought the album covers were pretty cool and I figured they would sell. And sure enough, they did. This first one, titled Three Friends, sold for $14.98. And this, titled Acquiring the Taste, sold for $24.99 from a band I had never heard of before, but I bought the albums because I liked the cover. Next are 45 records. Now, I got to tell you, I just got very, very lucky on these two 45s. I bought a lot of these. There were about 50 of them. I got them for $10. I looked at a couple of them and I'm thinking, these are older. There are probably some in here that are valuable. So I just took a shot. And I got home, I started looking through them, and there were two that kind of jumped out at me. Two bands I had never heard of before. So I looked them up. I saw, hey, this is pretty cool. They do sell, and they're pretty valuable. Well, the first one is The Disciples of Soul. Soul, that's S-O-U-L, not sold, but S-O-U-L. The name of the song is That's the Way Love Goes. The other side is Phantom, or Together Phantom. And I listed this for $249, our best offer. It's, was on eBay for a while. Somebody offered me $150, and I took it, so I was very happy about that. The other one is by a group called the Four Larks. They are an all-girls soul group from Chicago. This was put out in 1968. The name of the song is I Still Love You from the Bottom of My Heart. The other side is Groovin' at the Go-Go. I had it listed for $149, and I took a best offer of $85. Now again, this is not going to happen very often. I just got lucky. There were a couple of very rare 45s that I was able to make some really nice money on. Now, when you're looking for records, again, it's all about condition, because whenever you list an album, you have to grade the album cover and you have to grade the vinyl. And if you make a mistake and some big-time record collector buys it from you and it's in worse condition than you stated, there's a possibility they could leave you negative feedback or they will want their money back. So be very careful with record albums. Don't buy anything current or common. Don't buy Garth Brooks. Don't buy bands that are current. They just are not going to sell for a lot of money. Next, and it's a huge category, and it's clothing. I don't sell a lot of clothing on eBay, and there's a couple of reasons why. First of all, it takes quite a bit of time to list clothing, more so than other items. I find that it takes a much longer time to sell, and I do not make that great of a profit on the clothing that I sell unless it's a very, very upscale brand or it's a vintage piece of clothing that's rather rare. I just have not had a lot of success with clothing, making, tripling, quadrupling my money. It's usually if I buy something for $10, it sells for $25 and I might double my money. And I'm looking to do better than that, to be honest with you. But let's take a look at some clothing that I sold recently. Let's start with men's shirts. There's the good and the not so good. I sold this Black Sabbath concert t-shirt for $49.99. This is kind of an exception because not only is it clothing, it is a concert t-shirt. It's Black Sabbath. It's Ozzy Osbourne. People love that. So somebody bought this for $49.99. Next, I sold this Nat Nash men's shirt. This is a type of shirt that Charlie Sheen wore in 2.5 Men. I picked this up, didn't pay much for it, but it ended up selling for $69.99. Again, this is more than I normally get for shirts. So the next one I want to show you is like more of what usually happens. This is a Tommy Bahama all silk shirt. It probably cost $129 brand new. I had it listed. I think I started it out at $29.99. It didn't sell. I dropped the price to $19.99, and I finally took a best offer of $14.99. The bad news is I bought this at Goodwill. It cost me $6. So, I hardly made anything on this shirt. It took a while to sell. It's a solid color. I guess I should be lucky it even sold, and I got more than my money back, and I'm okay with that. But again, it takes a long time to list. It took a long time to sell, and I didn't make much on it at all. Next, women's clothing. I really don't know a lot about it. I pick it up every once in a while. I went to a estate sale not too long ago. They had about 300 jackets. They were very, very cheap, so I bought all of them. They were jackets that were sold on QVC. It's kind of been a slow process. I might have sold 50 of them, and I'm going to show you a couple of them right now. The first one is this Chico's open front jacket. It doesn't have any buttons. This sold on QVC at one time for, I think, $89. So I listed it at $39.99. It never sold. I reduced the price to $19.99 and it sold. Next is this Indigo Moon jacket. It is a QVC product as well. I had it listed for $19.99 and I took a best offer of $14. That's pretty sad, to be honest with you. Then I sold this Denim & Company leather jacket. It was brand new with the tags. Again, an item that probably sold for $89 on QVC. I ended up getting $19.99 for it. So if you're a woman and you want to sell women's clothing, go ahead. But if you go to Goodwill and you pay $5 or $6 for an item and you sell it for $14, it's really not worth the trouble. And you might want to think twice before doing that. One more item that I never buy, but I see it at almost every garage sale. It's clothing and it's baby clothes. I have never once sold one piece of baby clothes on eBay. I refuse to do it because I don't want to learn it. Maybe you do. I know there are some very popular brands out there that are really expensive. But it's one of those things, again, whenever somebody buys a new piece of baby clothing, let's say it costs $100. Well, when you resell it on eBay, you'll probably be lucky if you can get $10 for it. So I just stay away from it. Next up are shoes. I sell women's shoes and men's shoes. I have much better luck with men's shoes because I sell mostly athletic shoes and designer shoes. Women's shoes, every once in a while I'll get lucky, but they normally take a long time to sell, and I never get as much as I thought I could. So let me show you some examples. First is this pair of women's Gucci shoes. These are Gucci. I had them listed for $79.99. They never sold. I put them on sale for half price, and I sold them for $39.99. These shoes probably cost more than $200 brand new, but on eBay, I could only get $39.99. Next is this pair of Salvatore Ferragamo shoes. Had these listed, and I sold them for $39.99. I guess I was happy to get that. Then I sold these Cole Haan shoes. I had them listed at $39.99, reduced the price to $19.99, ended up taking a best offer of $12 just to get them out of my inventory and kind of break even. So again, when you're buying shoes, women's shoes, you've got to make sure that you buy the ones that are going to sell and that you can make a profit on. Maybe stay away from these Cole Haan shoes that I sold $12, that I got $12 for. It's just not worth it to me. Okay, next are men's shoes. I do much better with men's shoes, I guess maybe because I am a man. So first of all, these are Johnston & Murphy shoes. I bought these at an estate sale, and I sold them for $199.99. These are vintage shoes from the 1980s, almost brand new. I was very happy to get $200 for these shoes. Same sale, I bought these as well. These are Florsham Imperials, and I sold these for $199.99. I also buy athletic shoes. These are Nike Air Max, and I got $69.99 for these. Then I sold this pair of Nike Air Jordan Youth shoes, and they sold for $49.99. Now, if you're new to eBay and you're outsourcing shoes and you see some Nike shoes, and you don't know what the name of the shoes are or how much they are worth, you simply look at the tag. There is a 9-digit number on the tag. You can type that into eBay. Just type in Nike, put that number, and the shoe will come up. If it doesn't, you can go to Google and type it in. It will tell you exactly what the name of that shoe is. And, you can look at some completed listings on eBay and see what they have sold for in the past. Continuing with clothing, this is number 6, and these are ties. I bought ties over the years, and I would list them on eBay for $6 or $7. They would not sell. I happened to go to an estate sale a while back. I bought 40 ties in a lot, and they were some very valuable ties, which I was really not aware of. And here's what I sold. I sold this Stefano Ricci tie for $79.99. I also sold this Tom Ford tie for $59.99. Now, do I get these prices for every tie I list? No, I don't. But you know what? I'm not going to buy any more cheap ties. I'm going to look for these brands. Maybe I will come across them again and I'll be lucky. But, again, I got lucky. I mean, I had no idea that these ties were worth this much. I've already sold about 12 of them, and I'm just putting money in my pocket left and right. I'm very happy about that. Next up is item number 7, baseball caps. You are going to see these everywhere. Should you buy them? Sometimes you should, and sometimes you shouldn't. I will never pay much more than $1 for a baseball cap. I mean, I see them all the time, and I know which ones to buy. I look for trucker caps, I look for sports caps, and I look for kind of unusual caps. If you buy the regular stuff, just the common stuff, it's not going to sell. So let me show you some that I sold recently. The first is this Camel cigarette corduroy cap. It's from the 1980s, I believe. It's vintage. Look out for vintage ones. I paid $1 for it, and I sold it for $19.99. At the same estate sale, I bought this Houston Rockets 1994 NBA championship baseball cap. I paid $1 for it. It was new with the tags, and it sold for $79.99. I also bought this one, and this is more of the common stuff. This is an FBI Academy cap. It was new. I paid $1 for it, and it only sold for $9.99. So if you're out there buying baseball caps, I would say never pay more than $5 for one. I just can't see doing that. I like to pay $1, maybe $2, $3 at the most. If not, unless it's really valuable like the Houston Rockets one was, I am not buying it. Okay, so here is item number 8, and it's Christmas items and other holiday items. I buy Christmas items all throughout the year, and I do sell them yearly throughout the year, not just at Christmas time. I sold some recently. I'm going to show you in a second. I also find Halloween items every once in a while, maybe an Easter item here and there. So just keep an eye out for them. So here are some Christmas items that I sold in July. The first one is this Department 56 Christmas Village. I bought these at Goodwill, believe it or not. I paid $5 for it. I think I bought 4 different ones. This one sold for $29.99. I bought these vintage Christmas cards. I bought these along with 2 other lots, and I sold this very quickly. It sold in about a day, and they sold for $19.99. I paid $1 for them. Then I sold this LSU Game Day Santa Claus. LSU won the national championship, so it sold, and I got $39.99. So talking about Christmas items and other holidays, don't be afraid to buy Christmas items all year long, and don't be afraid to try to sell them in June or July, because as you can see, I was just successful at doing so. Next up is item number 9, sporting goods. You will see all kinds of sporting goods at garage sales. There are some that I look for. I look for golf clubs, but I only buy certain golf clubs. I only buy vintage golf clubs and ones that I know are valuable. Common sets, I just do not mess with. I also look for tennis rackets. I used to play tennis, so I'm familiar with tennis. So I buy them every once in a while. I also buy some baseball items, maybe a glove or an aluminum bat. The problem with aluminum bats is I'm going to show you in just a second, but let's get started. I sold this golf club bag. This is an Alabama Crimson Tide bag. I bought this at a garage sale. It sold for $129.99. Of course, not only is it a golf bag, it's an Alabama Crimson Tide golf bag. So I kind of keep an eye out for logo golf bags. I sold this tennis racket. It's a Wilson tennis racket. Picked it up for $3, sold it for $39.99. You can also look out for baseball bats. I haven't bought one in a long time. I did buy one for $5 at a garage sale, and I sold it for $350. The problem is there are so many of them out there. A lot of them get beat up. A lot of them lose their durability or their strength or something, and they're all different sizes, different weights. You've got to know them, and I just don't. I mean, I may go see one that looks familiar to me, look it up, and I find one on eBay that's similar, but it's not exactly the same, so I don't know to buy it or not, so I just pass on it. So if you know anything about aluminum baseball bats, maybe it's worth it to you, but I just don't buy them in general. Next, baseball gloves. Yeah, I'll buy a baseball glove every once in a while, but before I do, I will look it up on eBay on completed listings to make sure it's worth buying, and you need to do the same. Next is fishing equipment. I buy it from time to time. I look for fishing reels. I know quite a bit about them. I know which ones sell well, and I probably sell, I don't know, 20, 25 fishing reels a year. You've got to look out for them. Again, type the name into the eBay completed search and see what they're selling for. Same thing with rods, fishing rods. Only problem with fishing rods is they're kind of difficult to ship. You know, you got to make a certain package for that. But I do look for fishing lures, especially the vintage ones. I don't buy them individually. If I go to an estate sale or a garage sale and there's a tackle box full of fishing equipment, fishing lures and such, I'll just buy the whole box, and hopefully there will be some that are valuable. So when you're talking fishing, you know, you're talking freshwater, you're talking saltwater, you're talking fly fishing, and there's just all kind of fishing tackle that you can buy out there. Item number 10, toys. There are millions of toys out there. I see them all the time. I am not a toy expert. I do not buy a lot of them. But if you're new to eBay, you want to learn about toys, there are a lot of other people who sell toys on eBay. They make videos about it. They put them on YouTube. So I would just do a YouTube search and educate yourself about buying and selling toys on eBay. I really can't help you in this category. I do know which ones to look out for, and I do pick them up from time to time, but here's one that I knew nothing about, and I bought it at a garage sale. It's called a Transformer Beast Wars. This is a giraffe. I put this on eBay. It had a bunch of Japanese writing on the box, and it sold for $79.99. I had no idea what it was, but I put the money in my pocket and I was very happy. Here's something I did know about. This is a lot of McDonald's Happy Meal toys. I bought about 50 of these at a garage sale. I paid $2 for all 50 of them. I put these in a lot of 23. They sold for $19.99. I just sold a lot of 3 today for $7, so I'm doing okay with them. Not making a lot of money, but I'm doing all right. Next, I bought this Fisher-Price Sesame Street Bert and Ernie in a truck. It's Sesame Street and it's Bert and Ernie. So I paid $2 for it at a garage sale, and it sold for $15.99. I wish I could tell you more about toys, but again, I am not a toy expert. So before I go, how about a bonus? I'm talking books. I see books at every garage sale. I probably see, I don't know, 50, 60,000 books over a year period. I generally do not buy them because most books don't have a lot of value, but there are 2 types of books that I look out for. The first one is a first edition book, and the second one is a textbook. And here are a couple that I sold recently. I went to an estate sale. I saw this book. It looked interesting to me. It's called Taro and the Tofu. Opened it up. It said first edition. I paid $0.25 for it, and I sold it for $11.99. This next book is a textbook. It's a business textbook. It's a recent one, and it sold for $69.99. Most textbooks that I find are older, not worth a lot. This one was a newer textbook, and I was happy to get $69.99. And here's another book that I bought that was part of a lot. I bought about 30 of these artist lesson books, and I sold a number of these now. This one I think is from the 1960s. It's How to Draw Cartoons, and it sold for $19.99. Again, keep away from the common books, paperback books, that type of stuff, and look for the unusual and textbooks as well. Okay, there's one more item that I didn't tell you about that I would advise you that if you are a beginner eBay seller to stay away from, and that is electronics. Anything you have to plug into a wall. You know, I'm talking about small appliances, stereo equipment. I would say stay away from it, because what happens is you can ask the seller, hey, does this work? And they will say, yes, it does. You get it home, you plug it in, it kind of works, but it really doesn't, and it needs to be repaired. So you never know if it's going to work, even if you plug it in at their house. I mean, it may look like it works, but then when you get it home, you find out that it really doesn't. Plus, Most of that stuff is kind of bulky and it's kind of difficult to ship. So again, as a first-time eBay seller, stay away from electronics. Of course, if you've been doing it for a long time and you have experience buying and selling electronics, then by all means, go ahead and do it. That's going to do it for this video. That's 10 items, actually 11 with a bonus. And I really hope that you did enjoy it and that you learned something from it. This is the Refined Resellers saying, do just like me. Buy low, sell high. If you like this video, please subscribe. I'll see you next time. And really, I wish you the best of luck out there at all garage sales.